And welcome back, everyone, to Resurrection series. So this one is another one from my own personal selection. The other one I had lined up just didn't, I feel, work well in the overall scheme for like a Resurrection. So I kind of scrapped it. And that'll happen sometimes. Sorry for those who want those suggestions. But that being said, from me, the question of what is Luffy's Resurrection if you were a Roncar Hollow? It's an interesting question. The question I first have to ask myself is, what does his mask look like? Like, what he looked like as a Hollow is pretty, I think, evident. He looked like Gear 5 Luffy. That's what he looked like. Or, actually, no, I take it back. He probably doesn't. He probably looks closer, actually, to his Gear 4 forms. He has, like Hollow, armor all over him. He's got probably like an ape-like motif to some degree. And he maybe has a couple of like the clouds of an awakened Zoan fruit around him, sort of. But he doesn't look quite like the Nika, Sun God Nika. As for his mask, like what does mask look like back then? Who knows? I mean, most of the hollows we see don't, even Espada, even Vassalorde, they still have mostly like straight. In fact, their masks are actually more skull-like, if you will, than other hollows. And I know that's weird to say, especially when you see other hollows, but what I mean by that is very simple. That they don't have mouths usually. I mean, Baragon it does have a mouth, but Ulquiorra and Halibut, they didn't have mouths from what we can tell. And we have no idea what Stark's original form looked like, nor do we know what Yami's looked like, though he most likely had a mouth, especially because he's kind of gluttonous in his ways. That said, he is Luffy. I could see him maybe having something that looks kind of like an ape mask that doesn't really open up. Again, because he's Monkey D. Luffy and he does have ape-like traits to him, definitely. However, in his Arrancar form, he's more. I mean, he carries a katana. Most Arrancars carry a katana. I don't think there's anything different here with that. But that said, his mask probably takes the form, if I were to be nice, of maybe kind of like the eyeliner that or the eyeliner of it's not eyeliner per se, but the marks around his eyes for when he goes into Gear 4s or 5s or Gear 4s. But it's more kind of like shadow, like on his cheeks rather than up there. That could be his mask. A hollow mask for Luffy is kind of difficult to kind of figure out. Although you could make an argument, maybe it's his scar. Maybe his scar looks like a mask on his face. I think that could work. Its release though would be bend. And I think I've done bend before, but I think on this one is or bounce or something that deals with rubber or flexibility. Or flex. Flex is a good one. The difference here is it's not Goma Goma, or the Gum Gum fruit. We know it's the Nika Nika Nomi. Sorry, not the Nika Nika. It is the model Nika. It's the God. What's the model name for human? It's the human fruit model sun god. That's what it ultimately is. So I'd say it's actually sun god, Dia Sol. Now, that being said, I don't think he goes straight into Gear 5, or the hollow equivalent of it. I think he's actually more in probably like a Gear 3 or 4 form, or 2 form at first, and he can kind of go into greater forms. But, so leading from just standard ability, able to stretch, being rubber, enlarging his body, and then obviously adding hollow traits to his body to mimic things like Haki for Gear 4 Snake Man, Tank Man, and Bound Man. But that being said, I think this would be one of the exceptions to the rule of me not making Segunda Etapa. I think Gear 5 is the Segunda Etapa. I think that's the second release Resurrection. And that's where you see him take on what the hollow equivalent of Gear 5 would look like. He's got the cloudy band around the back of his neck. He's, I think that's what you would get. And that's where you'd see it. But just as is a problem for Luffy in the series, he would very much be he'd very much be on a time limit with that. Like I'd say no more than 5 minutes could he stay that before it just tires him out intensely. If he haven't somehow beaten his opponent by then, there's a problem because he's going against someone that's way stronger. But also, I might limit the abilities of the Gomu Gomu just slightly. Whereas he has a rubber-like nature initially, now he's basically imparting the rubber-like nature to anything else. Like he can make anything bend and bounce and rebound and stretch. Whereas Luffy and Gift actually has kind of like a Toon Force level of powers, where he can do Toon Force things. So, because it's the ultimate emphasis of freedom, is what the the Mom Nika fruit is. So, I'd probably go that route for him, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned because even though this will be uploaded about 4 something in the morning on Thursday, today, or technically, is when I do this, I've still got my Q&A. And the Q&A is going to, I should note right now, the Q&A, not that it's going to matter much, is actually going to be a day late. So you'll have an extra day to actually ask any questions you have. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time.